Hello and welcome. So today we are finally going to talk about a bit more concrete examples of, for example, which altcoins you can buy right now to have the highest chance of getting a very high return of invest. Bitcoin maximalists will always tell you that all altcoins are so-called shit coins. I'm not a big proponent of that idea because I think they have a legitimate reason to exist. And as we are now in this market to basically make financial gains, altcoins, we shall see, are a very good tool to achieve that. And they promise a much higher return of invest than Bitcoin normally does. Before we start, as always, the usual disclaimer, which I always have to say so that I don't get sued or whatever. So I'm not a financial advisor, okay? Please don't take everything I say super seriously. Always do your own research and never do anything based on what I am saying right now, okay? Now that this is out of the way, let's get started. So in the last bull cycle, Bitcoin famously went from a low of about $150 in January 2015 to a high of almost $20,000 in December 2017. So this is a rise of 13,060%, so a factor of 130. Now let's compare this to a few altcoins. So in the same time frame where Bitcoin has risen a factor of 130, Ethereum, for example, which was created in 2015, went from a low of 0.41 to a peak of $1,441. So this is an insane growth factor, and remember, these are factors, not percent, like factors by a factor of 3,413. Okay, just think about that. Compared to Bitcoin, factor 130. Okay, then let's take another big cryptocurrency, XRP. Now XRP went from a low of the incredible 0.003 in early 2017 to a peak of 3.3. This is a relaxed 110,823%, so a factor of 1,108. Remember, Bitcoin was a factor of 130. Okay, let's take another big altcoin from that time. For example, Litecoin. So we can see that Litecoin experienced a low at a bit below $1. This here doesn't count. I think this is a glitch of the exchange here we are looking at. And it rose from January 2015 from shortly below $1 up to 390 or 84. So this is also a relaxed factor of 388, almost 3 times better than Bitcoin. Okay, then let's take a look at another cryptocurrency from that time, which is, for example, Dash. So in early 2015, Dash had a low of $1 and it went up to $1,646. So this is a factor of 1,607. This is a performance almost 10 times better than Bitcoin in that same period of time. So now you understand that even though Bitcoin maximalists will tell you that all altcoins are so-called shitcoins, in fact, their performance tends to be a lot better than Bitcoin's performance during the bull cycle. Now let's look at some interesting coins that you can buy right now, like today, which have, in my opinion, a very high potential of yielding a very high return of invest when the peak of this bull market cycle is reached. Oh, and before we continue, I would be super happy if you would subscribe to this new channel, as this would greatly boost me and motivate me, you know, like, Super Saiyan, to continue pumping out videos about coins and the crypto market. Thank you very much in advance. So now let's look at CoinMarketCap and find some interesting altcoins which offer a high potential return of invest right now. So let's, for example, look at ADA, right? Place 3 CoinMarketCap. Would this be a good coin to buy right now? Let's have a look. And we can see, ADA had a low of $0.024 in March 2020 when the COVID crash happened, right? And then it pumped from March 2020 to a high of almost $3 in September this year, and now it's trading at $2.24. Okay, so wait, this coin rose by a factor of 100 since the COVID low in March 2020. Now, let's just collectively all think, like, this is a very difficult question now. Do you think it is wise to get into a coin right now that has already pumped by a factor of 100? Difficult price question. I don't care how much hype there is. I don't care what amazing technical features this coin might have. I just look at charts, and based on charts and market caps and growth dynamics, I make my decisions, and not on like, wow, hype, or wow, this could have this amazing technical feature. Sure, it could rise another factor of 5, with luck even 10, but a coin that has risen by a factor of only 3 or 5 or 10 has a much higher growth potential still in this bull market. So then let's get to the first very fascinating and interesting coin, which has, in my opinion, a high potential return of invest, and that is XRP. Now, if we look at the XRP price chart, and please remember again, these are logarithmic price charts, because looking at them in linear fashion doesn't make any sense, as we have established, because you don't see the price fluctuations so good. So this coin has risen from March 2020. It was at $0.14, and now it's trading at $0.94. So this coin has only risen by about a factor of 6. Now compare this to ADA that has risen by a factor of 100. Which coin would you rather buy right now? A coin that has risen a factor of 100 or a coin that has risen a factor of 6? My opinion is a coin that has risen only a factor of 6 makes more sense, as this coin has a higher growth potential to the end of the bull run, which is when Bitcoin reaches the peak at over 100,000 in the next months, or up to 1 year or 1 year and a half at the latest. So now on to the next coin, which is super uninteresting for me, okay? Dogecoin. Like, why would I never ever buy Dogecoin right now? And sorry for all the Elon fans. I personally am also kind of an Elon fan. I think what he's doing for humanity is amazing. He's a genius. Tesla, SpaceX, the Boring Company, Neuralink, like, this guy is a genius. What he's doing for humanity is amazing, and for that I absolutely admire him. But Dogecoin, sorry to say this, I would not touch Dogecoin right now, even he is shilling Dogecoin. Why? Let's have a look. In March 2020, during the COVID crash, Dogecoin crashed to $0.0015. It peaked to an incredible $0.65, okay? And now it's trading at $0.205. So this coin, it's trading still over 100 times higher than in March 2020, okay? About, I would guess, 130 or something. I don't want to use the calculator all the time. So about a factor of 130 higher than it was in March 2020. Now, would I want to buy a coin right now that has risen a factor of 130 already in the time span of 1.5 years? Of course not. And I don't care about hype and whatever. I don't buy a coin that has risen by over a factor 100 in the time span of 1.5 years. No chance. Now let's get to a coin, on the other hand, that is very interesting, which is our good old coin, Litecoin. Oh man, the good old Litecoin. So Litecoin had a low in March 2020 of almost $31, and it's now trading at $153. So would I buy a coin that has only risen a factor of 5? Yes. I would rather buy that coin than one that has risen a factor of 100 like ADA, or a factor of 125 or 130 like Dogecoin. Now let's look at some other coins. What about Bitcoin Cash? Well, Bitcoin Cash had its low in March 2020 at $152, and it's now trading at $500. So it's only a bit more than 4 times higher than in March 2020. Like, come on, only a factor 4.5. No matter what you think about the technical aspects of Bitcoin Cash, I understand that many hate Bitcoin Cash because of the history with Bitcoin and so on. But I just look at charts. This is my approach. If you are a technical guy and you know like, oh, this project is amazing, I know the programmers of this coin, I'm 100% sure that the fundamentals of this coin are amazing, and I'm convinced this coin will go times 1,000 because it will replace Ethereum, that's fine. If you have such knowledge of the technical aspects and you think this coin will be the next big thing, that's fine. You can also invest like that. But I personally, I only look at charts and the logic of charts and plausibility with market cap, the plausibility like how high can a coin go realistically, looking at market caps and past dynamics and past behavior. So even though you might hate it to hear, but for me, I would rather buy Bitcoin Cash than Dogecoin or ADA. Sorry. Let's look at another random coin, Filecoin. Okay, Filecoin had a low of $2.42 in March 2020 and is now trading at $61. Would I buy a coin that has risen by a factor of 30, almost 30, if I can buy a coin like Bitcoin Cash that has only risen by a factor of 4.5, or XRP or Litecoin that have risen by a factor of 5 or 6? What do you think I would rather buy? So Filecoin for me would be, for example, out. Let's continue in our list and look at, for example, Monero. Monero was at a low of $33 in March 2020 and is now trading at $246. So it hasn't even risen a factor of 10. It's like, I would say, a factor of 7 or 8. So Monero sounds like a plausible coin I could buy right now, which promises a much higher return of invest than ADA or Dogecoin. So Monero is a go. Then let's come to IOTA. You know, IOTA had a very good performance in 2017, so let's look what it did right now. It had a low of $0.11 in March 2020 and is now trading at $1.21. Okay, so it has risen by a bit more than a factor of 10 until now, which in my opinion is still kind of reasonable. It's certainly a lot better than ADA with a factor of 100 and Dogecoin with a factor of 130. Okay, so I would say this coin IOTA is still a buy right now. And I want to say that this here, like buying a coin right now, makes only sense if you believe that the bull market will now continue rising. So if basically now Bitcoin will just from here on continue rising. If of course now we get a huge crash and Bitcoin crashes to 20,000, just take a look at my second video where I was talking about that possibility, then of course buying right now doesn't make a lot of sense. But unfortunately we do not know what will happen. So that makes the thing a bit difficult. If you enter the market right now and you believe we will continue pumping with Bitcoin, then buying altcoins right now makes sense. If you believe we will crash, then waiting a bit longer will make sense. Let's come to another meme coin like Dogecoin, right? The famous Shiba Inu. If you buy Shiba Inu right now, something is seriously wrong with you, okay? If you buy Shiba Inu, then something is not right with you. So look here, Shiba Inu is like a coin that was trading at such low prices in 2020 that you cannot even, like, look here, the price is so low you cannot even look at it in logarithmic chart, like, because it's so low. It's like below 0.00000 many zeros 1, okay, and now basically peaked to an incredible 0.403, like, so this is like probably a factor of 10,000, and it's still trading a factor probably of a few hundred higher than it was in 2020 and early 2021. So forget it, I would never freaking buy this coin. No chance. Then what about Dash? A good old coin. Let's look at Dash. So March 2020, Dash crashes to around $43 and is now trading at $164, which is just a factor of 4 higher than it was in March 2020. So this coin is an absolute go. I would certainly buy Dash right now. Let's have a look at Zcash. Zcash had a low of $25, almost $25 in March 2020 and is now trading at $111.8. Okay, so that is not even a factor of 5 higher, okay? 4 point something higher than it was in March 2020. This coin is a buy. We are reaching the lower end of the spectrum now on CoinMarketCap, places almost close to 100, And let's take a look at Qtum. Qtum, for example, reached a low of $1 in March 2020 and is now trading at $9.8. Okay, so a factor of 9.8 is still kind of okay, a lot better than the other hype coins we saw that have risen over factor of 100, okay? So if it has risen a factor of 10 until now, for me, it's a very good buy. Over a factor of 10, I would be more cautious, and a factor of 100 and more, the coin is absolutely out for me. No chance. Doesn't matter what features it has, by whom it's being hyped. If the president of the United States would hype it himself, I wouldn't care. I don't buy coins that have risen already a factor of 100 in a single bull market, okay? I don't touch them. So now this was basically my strategy about which coins I would suggest to buy. Now, as I said, this highly depends on, do you believe the bull market right now will continue or not? If we basically look at the Bitcoin chart right now, we don't really know what Bitcoin will do. Will it continue rising like this here? And we have the famous 4-year cycle and it peaks at around 150,000 in late 2021. Or will we drag it on and maybe even have a crash or go sideways and then basically have a rally later in 2022? Or will we even crash to about 20,000 and then go up again? We do not know right now, as this will depend strongly on external economic factors like stock market. Will the stock market tank due to some external crises like Evergrande crisis, for just an example, or the dollar pumping? We established that Bitcoin is strongly inversely correlated to the dollar. So if the dollar pumps now and gets strong, Bitcoin will go down. We don't know exactly what will happen in the next weeks or months, because we've established in the first video on this channel that indeed the dollar could pump in the next weeks or months, and this could make Bitcoin crash. So buying an altcoin right now is semi-risky because it could crash down further Bitcoin and drag the entire altcoin market with it. So an idea or a possibility would be, if you have a sum X at your disposal for investing into the crypto market cap, I would, for example, now buy with X third or X half. So I would enter with a maximum of half of the money now and buy altcoins, and the rest I would keep to enter the market when the prices are crashing lower. And next time I will tell you a strategy what to do if now the market crashes indeed lower, how to enter the market and what to do best. And surprisingly, you will not go directly into altcoins, but it will make more sense to go first into Bitcoin. What? But you told us now to buy altcoins. Yes, buying altcoins now makes sense if Bitcoin starts rising now and continues the bull market until the end of the year. But in the case of we get a crash and Bitcoin falls further down, you will see that it will make more sense to buy first Bitcoin and then altcoins. But more about this in the next video. So I hope you enjoyed this video and got an idea of which altcoins are interesting right now and have very high potential and a very high potential return of invest if you enter the market right now. I hope you enjoyed it. I wish you a very nice day. May the crypto gods be with you. May the powerful crypto gods be with you. And I would say, until next time.